Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Dr. Larita Jones, and I am thrilled to have you here for this important session on overcoming financial chaos. I specialize in providing expert bookkeeping, CFO services, and grant writer solutions to nonprofit leaders, childcare center owners, and cleaning companies, cleaning company operators just like you. All right. So now, if you have been struggling with financial reporting, with managing your cash flow, or securing the funding that you need, you're in the right place. All right. So today I'm going to share immediate financial strategies that you can implement to help solve some of your most pressing problems. All right. So whether you're trying to make sense of your finances, whether you're trying to secure more grants or just trying to simply stabilize your cash flow, I'll be covering some actionable steps that you can take today to start making improvements. So make sure to stay with me until the end. All right, let's get started. So first, we're going to talk about some common financial challenges that nonprofits, childcare centers, and cleaning companies face. All right. While these industries are different, yes, but they all share three common pain points. And that main pain point is poor financial reporting. All right. So for nonprofit organizations, they tend to struggle with securing funding, consistent funding, all right, which can lead to poor financial reporting. That means that, you may have funding that lasts for a year, and then the next year you might not get that same award. So now you have to figure out how to fill that gap. And sometimes that can cause your financial reporting to be affected. When it comes down to childcare centers, the fluctuation of income, all right, or revenue, and managing state funding or the subsidies that they receive can cause poor financial reporting. And with cleaning companies having to constantly function or operate within tight profit margins, all right, this can make it difficult to manage your expenses, which in return can cause poor financial reporting. All right. So although these challenges can feel overwhelming, yes, and they can be very stressful, they can be very daunting, but with the right strategies in place, they don't have to be. All right. So now we're going to talk about some solutions. What can you do to help with your financial reporting? All right, so whether you're applying for grants, whether you are trying to attract investors or donors, or simply trying to manage your cash flow, accurate financial reporting is critical, right? Poor financial reporting is basically what makes or breaks any organization. All right, that just is what it is. So one of the things that you can do to help with that is to make sure that you're implementing consistent financial reviews. All right. And you can do this by using QuickBooks Online, which can definitely help with you tracking your expenses and tracking your income, so you know where everything is going. Excuse me. Next, you track all your income expenses by category. All right. So you want to make sure that if you have expenses for one particular program, you want to make sure that you are tracking those expenses by that particular program. If you have expenses that you're tracking for, say, cleaning supplies, you want to make sure that all those are in the correct categories. And you want to make sure that those categories are set up based on your funding sources and based on your revenue streams. All right. So if you are a cleaning company, your categories would be different than a nonprofit organization. All right. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind. Number 3, you want to make Accuracy and transparency a priority when you are communicating your financial information, your financial picture to your stakeholders and to your donors. So keeping track of your income and your expenses on a monthly basis will help this. And then comparing your yearly financials to help you identify any type of trends and any type of discrepancies. All right. So just by having your financials organized, you will immediately reduce the overwhelm and gain more control. It'll be a lot less stress on you because you know that when the time comes, if you need to show your financials to someone, that they are accurate and in pristine condition. All right, so next let's tackle cash flow management. That is the second pain point. I made a little over there. The second pain point is cash flow management. All right. So I know this is an urgent problem for many of you, especially when you're having to deal with fluctuations of income. All right. So when we're talking about from a nonprofit perspective, timing of grants and timings of these donations often create gaps in the cash flow. All right. And we're going to talk about in just a few minutes how to help with that. All right. From a child care center perspective, revenue is often inconsistent because it's based on enrollment, right? You may have more enrollment in the fall than you have in the spring, or you may have more enrollment in the fall and spring than you have in the summer. So you need to understand those fluctuations when those times of fluctuation happen so that you can plan accordingly. All right. And for cleaning companies, contracts come and go, which affects your ability to plan ahead financially. Okay. So some solutions to help combat cash flow management. You want to, for nonprofits, you want to implement cash flow forecasts to identify the times when cash inflow is lower. All right. So you want to plan ahead by maybe saving portions of income during high revenue months, or being able to plan ahead by making sure that whatever programs maybe cost the most or whatever expenses are higher, that you are kind of moving those around maybe to the months where your income tends to be a little bit more stable. All right. So cash flow forecasting can be done by simply using an Excel spreadsheet. You can use a Google Sheet to help map out your income versus your expenses. For nonprofit or segment your grant money for specific purposes and plan for periods when funding might be slow. All right. So again, this may be maybe in the summer, you may have a lot of programs going on because kids are out of school or whatever the case may be. And normally those types of things are funded pretty well. So you may want to maybe use some of the programs that can be implemented within the summer, move those around, and then during the fall or the different types of other types of months or different months, you can kind of utilize the funding to support other programs. All right. So again, you want to identify those specific periods when cash is tight, and then you want to create a savings to help offset those times, or you just want to maybe move around some of your programs and initiatives. For childcare and cleaning companies, using automated processes will save you a lot of time, will save you a lot of hassle, a lot of headache, and also a lot of confusion. All right. So setting up automated reminders to help invoice clients, or maybe to follow up with clients, to help avoid payment delays would be very, very helpful to you. Again, it will save you time, and it will also help to improve your cash flow. All right. So by forecasting, you can avoid the dreaded cash flow surprise where you are suddenly short on funds. So you are better prepared to be able to move things around. You're better able to prepare for the different circumstances that may arise. And you can be able to maneuver accordingly. All right. The next pain point is grant compliance and securing funding. And this kind of is more tailored towards nonprofits and childcare centers. So if you're not meeting the terms of your grants or the stipulations of your grants, you risk losing funding. And that is a nightmare in itself, all right? Especially when you have people depending on those funding, you have people depending on those programs or those initiatives, or depending on different childcare, different programs that you're offering within your childcare center, all right? So nonprofits, non-compliance with grant terms, stipulations can result in reduced future funding. It can result in current donors no longer trusting you and with their funds, so they will decide next fund cycle to fund someone else. And keep in mind that a lot of these donors kind of run in the same circle, so they can sometimes talk. So that can definitely hurt you as well if someone can hear about you not being truthful, not being transparent, not having accurate financials. It can hurt you, in other areas as well. From a child care center perspective, missing deadlines or even misrepresenting funds can affect your ability to receive subsidies and to receive state funding, all right, which in return will allow you to not be able to take on as many kids because you don't have the resources to support them, all right? So some quick solutions that you can implement to help combat grant compliance and securing funding or grant not complying with grants. You can use detailed grant management tools to keep track of deadlines and reporting requirements. And I know there are probably more out there, so you can do your research, but Asana and Trello are good applications that are good for tracking deadlines and also deliverables. So sometimes grants are stipulated on, you may have to attend so many training sessions, and then you have to, submit some type of report or so forth. Well, these types of applications, Asana, Trello, can help keep track of all those things that you have done, the deliverables that you have completed, so that you'll know the timeline or time frame of how much funding you'll be getting and when. You want to make sure that your financials are set up to reflect exactly how your grant funds are being used, all right? And this is where QuickBooks Online comes into play. They have an amazing system when it comes down to being able to grant management. If you have 5 programs, 10 programs, it does not matter. You can set up the information based off the program, so that when you when expenses go out, income comes in, you know exactly which program it was for, you know exactly what program, how much money this program costs, what money was spent on this program, and so forth. All right. And it also helps ensure that you are adhering to grant terms, grant stipulations. And, if you're with restricted funds versus unrestricted funds, you can see what you're actually spending your money on and make sure that you are in adherence to whatever those restrictions are. All right, and number 3, you want to have an experienced bookkeeper like myself or a CFO like myself review your books to ensure your compliance. This will give you peace of mind, that knowing that your deadlines are always met, knowing that your books are always in pristine shape, and that your funds are being spent accurately and responsibly. All right. So just a few final tips and takeaways. You want to make sure to make sure you're combating your financial chaos, making sure that you are you have good financial stability. You want to make sure that you're conducting financial reviews consistently. Now that can be on a monthly basis, it can be on a weekly basis, it can be a bi-weekly basis, whatever works for you. I always recommend monthly because monthly gives more of a complete picture. You need to make sure that you're setting up your cash flow forecasting to plan for low revenue months. QuickBooks Online also has a budget to actual feature, so it'd be actually great for forecasting per se, because you can see what you spent versus on what you budgeted, and vice versa. All right. You can also use QuickBooks Online to track your income, track your expenses, to track your grant funds, which also helps with grant management because you know what's coming in, what's going out, and in what relation those income and expenses are to when it comes down to programs and so forth. And you want to make certain that you stay compliant with all of your grant terms and stipulations to make sure that you are avoiding losing funding, because there's nothing worse than losing funding in the middle of you implementing a program or initiative or resource that your community is dependent upon. All right. So these tips can help you go from financial chaos to financial stability. All right, that wraps up my discussion on overcoming chaos. I hope that this information that I shared with you is valuable. I hope it is useful and helpful, and that it provides you with some insight on your financial stability. If you feel that you need help identifying what's holding you back from achieving your financial success or financial stability, feel free to book a 30-minute call with me. It's absolutely free. All right, there's no obligation. And on this call, we will review your financials and identify what the gaps are. And I will also help you find solutions for your cash flow, find solutions for better reporting, and for grant management. All right. So if you would like to schedule a time for us to chat, you can send me a direct message via email, which you see on the screen. You can also go to my website, and you can also click on the link here to schedule a time that best works for you, that we can chat, and we can dive into how we can help you get to where you need to be financially. All right. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.